When Rory Calhoun rode across the silver screen, audiences didn't just see an actor, they saw a force of nature. With that piercing gaze, effortless swagger, and cowboy grit, he didn't need special effects to command attention. But behind the gun smoke and glory was a man forged in fire. A rebel who rose from prison cells to Hollywood's brightest lights. His life was wilder than any Western he ever starred in, filled with danger, scandal, and redemption. And in the end, he revealed the truth about the one man who defined him, Randolph Scott. Rory Calhoun was born Francis Timothy McCown on August 8, 1922, in Los Angeles, California. Long before Hollywood lights found him, his world was marked by poverty and struggle. The Great Depression carved its scars deep into his childhood. Money was scarce, hope was thin, and the streets of Los Angeles were no place for dreamers. By his teenage years, Rory had drifted into trouble. He ran wild, committed crimes, and found himself behind bars for robbery and auto theft. He would later spend time in a federal reformatory, a dark, humbling period that could have broken him completely. But instead of destroying him, that time forged him. Years later, Rory would speak openly about his mistakes, admitting that those years gave him the grit that defined his life and his craft. He didn't hide his past, he owned it. That honesty became his strength. It gave him authenticity that no acting school could ever teach. After his release, he drifted from one hard job to another. Mechanic, logger, cowboy. He wasn't searching for fame, only a place to belong. But fate had a plan. One afternoon, while riding in the Hollywood Hills, he met actor Alan Ladd. That meeting would change everything. Ladd's wife, Sue Carroll, a well-known Hollywood agent, was immediately struck by the tall, broad-shouldered young man with steel eyes and natural charisma. She saw potential where others saw only a drifter. She signed him on the spot, gave him a new name, Rory Calhoun, and sent him to acting school. From that moment, his life took a dramatic turn. In the early 1940s, Rory Calhoun made his screen debut. The camera loved him. His athletic build, deep voice, and quiet presence made him a natural for the Western genre, a genre that was dominating Hollywood at the time. Unlike many of his peers, Rory didn't have to pretend to be tough. He already was. He starred in memorable films like The Red House, 1947, A Song in My Heart, 1952, and River of No Return, 1954, where he shared the screen with Marilyn Monroe and Robert Mitchum. These performances cemented his reputation as one of Hollywood's most captivating leading men. Audiences adored his subtlety, his ability to say everything with a single look. He wasn't loud or theatrical. He was real. By the late 1950s, Rory had become a household name thanks to his television series, The Texan, 1958-1960. The show captured America's love for the cowboy myth, and Rory embodied it perfectly. He wasn't just playing a role, he was reflecting who he truly was: tough, loyal, and unshakably independent. The Texan became a hit, and Rory became one of the most recognizable faces on television. Off-screen, however, Rory Calhoun was as fascinating as any character he portrayed. He was a man of contradictions, polite yet rebellious, charming yet unpredictable. He lived by his own code. Directors admired his professionalism, while gossip columnists couldn't get enough of his love life. His kindness to fans, his loyalty to friends, and his mischievous charm made him a Hollywood favorite. He was both a rebel and a gentleman, a rare combination that kept him relevant for decades. As the Western genre began to fade in the late 1960s, Rory proved he was more than a cowboy. He reinvented himself with roles in television, comedies, and even horror films, including the cult classic Motel Hell, 1980. His versatility and willingness to evolve kept him working long after many of his contemporaries had stepped away. Behind the fame, Rory's personal life was as colorful as his film career. In 1948, he married actress and singer Lita Barron, a glamorous figure who matched his charisma. Together, they were one of Hollywood's most talked-about couples. They had 3 daughters, Cindy, Tammy, and Lori. And for a time, they seemed to live a storybook life. But fame comes with its shadows. Rory's charm and Hollywood's temptations took a toll on their marriage. Rumors of affairs surrounded him, some exaggerated, some painfully true. By 1969, after more than 20 years together, their marriage began to crumble. Lita Barron, tired of gossip and betrayal, filed for divorce, publicly citing his infidelities as the cause. She made headlines when she said, "I can forgive many things, but not lies." Their divorce in 1970 ended one of Hollywood's most enduring relationships from the Golden Age. But love found Rory again. In 1971, he met Sue Rhodes, a British journalist who saw beyond the movie star image. Their relationship was quieter, more grounded, built on mutual respect rather than red carpet glamour. She brought peace to his restless spirit. Still, even this love faced turbulence. They divorced in 1979, but fate wasn't done with them. A few years later, the two found their way back to each other and remarried in 1982. Their second marriage was built not on passion and fame, but on companionship and understanding. For the first time, Rory found true calm. Through all the highs and lows of his career, one man had always lingered in his thoughts: Randolph Scott, another Western legend. For decades, people whispered about their friendship and rivalry. Both were tall, rugged, and magnetic. Both defined what it meant to be a cowboy. But Rory Calhoun rarely spoke publicly about Scott until late in his life. In a rare, deeply personal interview, he finally opened up. Randolph Scott, he said, was the kind of man you couldn't help but admire. He carried himself with quiet dignity, like he was born in the saddle. Most of us had to act that part. For him, it was natural. Rory admitted that he'd always felt a mix of admiration and envy. "We were both leading men," he said with a laugh, "and there wasn't room for too many cowboys at once. He made being a star look easy, and that used to drive me crazy." But beneath the rivalry was respect. Rory Calhoun admired not just Scott's talent, but his decency. He never bragged, never played dirty, Rory recalled. He treated everyone the same, from the producers to the extras. That taught me a lot about the kind of man I wanted to be. He even remembered one piece of advice Randolph Scott gave him: "Don't ever chase fame. It runs faster than any horse, and if you catch it, it'll buck you off." Rory said those words stayed with him forever, a lesson he learned the hard way. When Scott retired, he did it quietly. No press, no farewell tour. He just rode off into his own sunset, Rory said. He knew when to quit, and not many of us do. His voice softened when he added, "I always wanted to tell him how much he meant to me. But in those days, cowboys didn't say things like that. We were too proud, but I think he knew." That confession revealed something profound: the humility of a man looking back on his life with gratitude, not regret. "If you ask me," Rory said, "every actor who ever put on a cowboy hat owes something to Randolph Scott. He set the standard. I just tried to ride somewhere close behind him." In his later years, Rory Calhoun began to slow down. Years of smoking, long days under the California sun, and the physical toll of a hard life caught up to him. He was diagnosed with emphysema and diabetes, illnesses that slowly weakened him. Yet even as his health declined, his spirit remained strong. Friends and family described him as humorous, dignified, and endlessly kind. He never complained. He simply kept going. On April 28, 1999, at Providence St. Joseph Medical Center in Burbank, California, Rory Calhoun took his final bow. He was 76 years old. News of his passing spread quickly through Hollywood. Tributes poured in from co-stars, directors, and fans who remembered him not just as an actor, but as a symbol of the true American West: rugged, loyal, and real. Few could have predicted that the troubled young man who once sat in a reformatory cell would one day become a beloved legend. His journey was one of transformation, from outlaw to icon, from rebel to role model. He had lived fully, loved deeply, and left behind a legacy that time could not erase. So when we remember the golden age of Westerns, the name Rory Calhoun still rides tall. A man who lived his roles, who turned struggle into strength and fame into something real. He wasn't just a star. He was the spirit of the frontier itself, the rebel cowboy who never let Hollywood tame him. If you enjoyed this story of grit, glory, and redemption, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold Hollywood legends. Thanks for watching.